Welcome to the Man-Whore Podcast.
And hello to all my lovelies. How are we doing? My heterosexuals, bisexuals, metrosexuals, to the sapiosexuals. This is Billy Presida, and you are listening to the Man-Whore Podcast. How is your day going? I hope it's going just great. I want to start off real quick by giving a huge congratulations to Idaho, Oregon, and Pennsylvania all in the last week or last 8 days. All now have legalized officially gay marriage through the court systems. Very happy about that, guys. We now got 18 states who believe in marriage equality for all people of all sexualities and genders. Huge, but very exciting news. And there's still a whole loads and loads more of states that are still battling out same-sex marriage and marriage equality in the court system. So really awesome news to hear. Up top, got some plug stuff, some happy news, some good things going on over here. Over the past week, thanks to you guys, thanks to my awesome, loyal listeners out there, over the past week, the Man-Whore Podcast, a sex-positive quest for love, has now made multiple appearances on iTunes as a top 10 sexuality podcast, which is really awesome, super fun. We've made it as high as 8, as the 8th highest sex podcast on iTunes. So really exciting. If you guys aren't already, please subscribe on iTunes, leave me a review, let me know what you think. So that has been really fun to see. I made a little appearance this week on a podcast called Sounds Like an Earful Podcast with Canada's own proud hockey-loving son, Chris Postil. So he's got a fun little podcast there. Talks about some big questions, things that just come up from day to day that he's thinking about. He had me on to talk about podcast oversaturation. Super nerdy inside baseball stuff. If you're really into that type of bigger picture entertainment world, posturing and where the media is going, whether it be television and movies going to digital streaming services or radio slowly evolving or devolving, depending on your position, into podcasts and the like. It might be a good show to check out. I had a good time talking to him. You can check out that show. It's called Sounds Like an Earful Podcast. You can hear it here on iTunes or SoundCloud. Go check that out if you want, if that's your type of thing. If it's not, then it's just going to sound like two nerds talking about nerd things over a nerdy medium. So, I don't know. I had fun. I liked it. Guys, so now that I'm back living in New York City, trying to get myself back into the dating pool, trying to see what's out there, try to see what I can do. There's been some sort of casual fun, a little bit, but mostly I'm looking to go on like actual dates, guys. And I went on one. I went on a real date a couple nights ago with a gal from the Tinder. If you remember from our very first inaugural episode with Nikki, she was from Tinder. This one went really well. It was sweet. It was nice. She's a little awkward, but super brainy, like graduated high school at 16. For some people, that's a red flag. For some people, it's really impressive. For me, I'm not sure which, but I was impressed by her. Beautiful girl. Just a beautiful gal. We had a really fun time. Had a couple drinks, chatted. I didn't try to get her to come back to my apartment. For me, I don't know. I speed things up. I rush things a lot, especially if I dig someone, because I don't believe that you can't start a relationship with some sort of hookup on the first date. But no, we chatted. I walked her to the train. I gave her a quick kiss, sent her underground. Like if I wasn't in New York City and I said that sentence, it would be 100% creepy and weird and like an evil scene in a movie. It's like, oh, he gives her a little kiss, sends her underground, and then she gets turned into hamburger meat. Like, no, it's just a subway. Just a subway, guys. And we're going to see each other again, so we're going to, I guess I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes. See what happens, guys. Not worrying about it. I got a couple red flags. and a couple things that super impressed me. And following the advice of our first guest, Nikki from Tinder, I'm going to not make hasty decisions and place her in a particular box or category that she would best fit in for me, and just see where it takes me. So we'll see, guys, but I'm in a pretty chipper mood, I will say. Also excited because in about a month I've got a very fun thing coming up. Anyone in the tri-state area or super rich and likes to just fly to see me, in a month on June 20th, I am competing in the Slaughter Stand-Up Summer Showdown in Slotsburg, New York. That's in Rockland County, New York. It's at a place called Characters Bar and Restaurant. It's I'm in the first round of the competition, and I'll be competing for some really big booking opportunities. It'll be really great. It's on June 20th at 8:00. It's free admission. I'll be going up against about a dozen folks, doing some sets, as most competitions go. I do really well. I'll move on to the semifinals. So that could be really fun. If you're in the area, if you're nearby Rockland County, New York, please come on out. If you need any details, feel free to email me at manwhorepod@gmail.com. That'll be a good time. This week on the show, we have Diana. Diana is a super awesome chick. I had such a great time sitting down with her. I haven't seen her in almost 3 years, I'd say. Yeah, almost 3 years. She comes from that dark era I had, a slutty for the wrong reasons era, or maybe not. Maybe that's just what I need to do at that time period, but there's probably a better way I could have gone about it. She comes from that same era that last week's guest, Kaylee's from, kind of like the fall and winter of 2011. I'm definitely not the guy now that I was then. And I definitely don't remember a lot of things from that time period the way they probably happened. And Diana really helped me realize that. It wasn't just a shit on Billy session. I really did learn some things. It was very, very enjoyable, very fun. She has some great stories. Holy shit, guys. I'm not going to say like she's one who got away. But seeing her again and sitting down and not focusing on, okay, are we going to sleep together or not? And just talking to her. I realized I might have missed out on something by not treating her like a fucking person. Instead of being so obsessed about, what is this? Are we hooking up? Are we dating? Are we going to fuck? Are we not going to fuck? Had I not been such a shithead back then, who knows? Maybe I would have realized how rad of a chick she is. And now I'll just never know. So I'll spare you guys more explanation. I'm just going to get right into it. I'm going to let you guys listen to me and Diana. Before I do, there's one more thing. I do want to give, I don't do this much. I just want to, a friend of mine, Mike Recine, is making his television debut on Conan tonight, or last night, on Tuesday, doing stand-up on Conan O'Brien's show on TBS Conan. Super funny guy, and if you have an opportunity, check him out online. Go to Conan's website, teamcoco.com. Check out the videos from Tuesday night. Watch his set. He's a really funny guy. Kills it. I think you guys would really like him. And now after all those plugs later, guys, finally I'll let you sit back and relax and listen to me sitting down with this week's guest, Diana. Yeah, I just want to hear your voice.
Is
so
this
I can,
good?
Like, say
Mary
a few things.
had a little lamb.
Lovely. If you, by the way, you said you hate your like recording voice. I when I started doing stand up, that was like one of my first things. I was self-conscious about.
Yeah.
I feel like my voice is really monotonous almost sounding.
Okay, I have that same.
And I'm worried it's not interesting.
Yeah.
Because I hear like Brian Regan or like even Louis,
I
like
don't know who that is.
just any like a lot of big comedians, they almost have like a distinct voice. And
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have that. So I feel like I'm boring to listen to no matter what I'm saying.
My telephone voice is very deadpan.
Really?
And just like without inflection.
No, there's
so
no-
sometimes I have to actively inflect. So before I pick up the phone, I'll be like, oh, this is someone that I don't want to think that I'm bored. So I'll just scream before I pick it up.
Hey!
Yeah. Hey, hi.
Oh, you don't have like boyfriend voice? Like, you know, guys.
No, I don't. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have that. I have like bitch voice, like the voice equivalent of bitch face, I think.
What's bitch voice?
Monotone, unexcited.
Very Audrey Plaza.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Yeah, either that or slightly worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hello, Diana.
Hi.
Listeners, this is the lovely having a bitch voice, bitch face Diana.
Hi. That's me.
Yeah. How you have a great radio voice. I don't
Thank
know what you're
you.
talking about. It's not high pitched, but like it sounds like a radio person.
Good.
You're
Thank you. That's a
good.
great compliment.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Just typical Sunday. I just finished school, so I'm not really doing anything.
You're in grad school, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just,
okay. Just so they don't think like I
Right.
fucked a child.
No.
Because
Although we do go back a couple years.
We do
It's
go
kind
back
of
a few years.
crazy.
Yeah.
Although our like hookup period was very short lived. It was so
yeah,
long
you were
ago.
like you hit and quit it.
You say that, but that's not what it was.
We'll get into that.
Okay, we will.
No, it's because I feel like I have to clarify sometimes because I don't know. That was a crazy time for me, and I don't.
Oh, I would love
So.
to hear what kind of place you were in.
I was in a not me place. I was in a
Okay.
very like
So
anti-relationship.
I hooked up with not you. So I hooked up with not you.
Yeah, like I'm definitely
Okay.
different then than now.
I was me then.
You were
so
the-
that was
you
me. You met me.
You is great.
Oh, thank you.
You is great. In grammar talk. No, you were great. I was the shithead. I
Okay.
think. But what's crazy is back then I didn't know I was the shithead. I just
see.
thought you were very,
Tell me.
very. I'm gonna. Is man eater the right word?
You could say
a
that.
woman who like
I could
uses
see
a guy
how you
for
would
sex and then
say that.
chews him up, spits him out.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Accusations.
Well, see, back then that's what my mind thought.
Okay.
Because I thought I could do no wrong
Okay.
when I was 22.
I see. You were. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
were
just
22.
graduated college. And,
Okay.
it was a weird time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was because last week's guest is from your time period. That whole fall was
Okay.
like an interesting time. That like fall and early winter. And
Can I
don't
tell
know.
you my perception of you at that time?
Please.
Okay. You
Don't hold back. This is an honest.
Oh, like I could.
This is an honest place.
Okay. I remember we met online.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to date you. And then I thought maybe I should because I was like in this place where I was like all about getting out of my comfort zone, like meeting new people. I felt like I had like really just been meeting like the same guy over and over again. I was like, maybe I should just like try dating someone that I really like would never be into, which was you. You were like very aggressive.
Really?
You were very aggressive and like jokey and insisted that you were like different from all other guys that were online. You were like, am I the first guy that like didn't ask to see your tits? Oh. I was like, no, because it was the website Date My School,
Yeah.
which was actually filled with like really nice like nerdy boys.
Really?
Yeah, so I was taking advantage of a lot of nerdy boys. And I remember it was like our first date, or we went to Rudy's.
Yep. They had the hot dogs.
Yes, and I remember afterwards you tried to have sex with me outside of a church. You climbed over a fence.
I do remember climbing over the fence now.
And then
Yeah.
you told me to climb in after you so that we could do it outside of St. Luke's, which is like a really nice church. And then I left. I left you on the other side of the fence.
You did leave. I like to think that I was probably kidding.
I don't know.
I hope I just thought, oh, I'm gonna be really, really out there and just like jump the fence because that's what a wild,
It was kind
wild,
of
crazy
endearing,
fun guy does.
But then I left.
Yeah,
But I wasn't.
But I think I did. Did you? I came back and like it's not like you left.
No, I left. I
You
left.
left.
Yeah.
Oh, and didn't answer your phone. Left.
No, I just like left. And
No, I
went
remember
to
the
bed.
leaving. I feel like I
And then
maybe
we kind of
followed.
reconvened. Like
No?
we like followed up the next day or something.
Okay.
I was like, yeah. I wasn't. No, it was fine. I was like, oh, okay. So he's going to try to have sex with me outside of a church. Okay. That was... And then you were all about...
I'm so ashamed.
Talking about your conquests with me.
You know what's interesting? Last week's guest
was one of your conquests.
I don't use conquest. I'm not conquesty. I don't.
Right. Well, you talked about it like you were like a kid talking about your stamp collection.
Okay, I'll say these two.
If you want to rebuttal, go ahead.
I will on two things. Well, one is for you is that the girl last week was from the same time period.
Okay.
She said the same thing. I was very much like almost insisting upon explaining. Oh yeah, hey, I'm getting laid elsewhere too.
Yeah. No, that was it.
Which, yeah, what a douche.
Yeah. You told, and I didn't know if you were joking or not, because I guess I just didn't know you enough to know like where your humor was at. And so you told me that you had sex with a girl in a bush in Central Park. And
I was really proud of that one. Because last week's guest, Kaylee, said the same thing. She said you just wouldn't shut up about fucking Central Park.
Yeah.
Oh God, I was the worst.
You were in a bush in a bush.
So, yeah.
Bushception.
So you're right on that count.
Okay.
But the whole how like you said I would almost like talk about it like a kid talking about
stamp collection.
Like stamp collection. And I shouldn't be over this. I should be over this. When someone wants to sleep with me, I still see it as a novelty.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised. Because women were just such not an option for me for so long in my life. Yeah. Despite any success I've had, I still am like shocked. I'm just like, are you sure? Because this is not a good decision to make. But okay, let's do this.
So you wanted me to know that I was in like a bigger club than I might have thought I was in.
Well, back then I think I was just being a dick, but I don't think I knew it.
Okay.
You know, like it would sound defensive. I could try to rationalize. I think what I might have been trying to do was solidify that I didn't want a relationship by doing that. Mm-hmm. That might have been the move. Still dick.
Yeah.
But that might have been why the way my attitude and the way I would do it, I think is just it's still to this day that like it's kind of like all these women are sleeping with me. Like isn't that stupid? Like
well, you still acted like very relationship-y when we were out, which was like okay. I just didn't know. I never knew like what you were looking for. So to be like for you to say that I was kind of like a man-eater is funny to me because you were like plowing through all these women and telling me about them. I was like, okay. All right. And I remember something that happened on the first date. You tested me. And then...
Who is this guy?
I don't know.
Who is he?
I don't know. The old Billy.
What did I test you on?
We were at the bar and you're like, let's do shots. What do you want? And I was like, I don't know, whiskey. And you're like, what kind? You were like, rapid fire. And I was like, and I just looked up and like pointed to the one I wanted. And you're like, that was a test and you passed because I thought you were going to waver and be like, you choose.
I sound like just a shitty version of Dane Cook. That's why.
Were you listening to a lot of Dane Cook comedy?
Probably. I'm a big Dane Cook fan.
Okay. Well, there it is.
That might have happened. Oops.
Yeah. But
it's that where I'm like trying to like do my best impression of my father.
Maybe, but you were alternately like very sweet every once in a while, so it wasn't all shitty Billy. I get very boyfriendy. I get like very kind of like I don't know, like cutesy even with like casual partners. Right. And that's kind of what turns me on. Like I'm really into that.
Really?
Yeah.
You're romantic.
Well, but only intimately. Like afterwards, I couldn't care less about you. Or not you specifically.
Like after you come, you're just like, I don't get the fuck out of here.
Sometimes kind of. It depends. That's kind of usually a signifier of like whether or not I like a guy. Is like if afterwards I still feel like close and like romancy, then maybe there's something there.
Okay.
But usually the romance ends like after he like gets pushed out of my bed.
Is kind of a push out of the bed.
Yeah, and I've got a twin, so it happens really quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, I think my fucked up head might have thought that that's how I would balance to not lead someone on because again, so since I'm kind of cutesy, even with someone I'm just sleeping with, because I'm like an adorable romantic in my head, I think I was like, oh, well, let's not give them the wrong impression. Let's be a total asshole to them just to make sure we don't hurt their feelings.
Right, of course.
But we get older and we live and we learn.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm learning, but
maybe
this is what this is about. It's about me learning now.
I was actually really excited when you emailed me about this. I was like, this will be a great conversation because I don't know. That was kind of like a very quick, like we only slept together, I think like twice or.
Yeah, like 3 times, maybe 4. It was very short.
But it was a very weird, like we were, I don't know. We would like go out and like kiss each other a lot, which is different from what I usually do.
I love kissing.
Yeah, well, we did that.
So wait, so you were excited to...
I was just like, yeah, just to kind of get to what that was. Or
I felt like you had... I was like, I don't know if she's going to want to do it, but I was like, let me see if I can try to sell it on that. Listen, you get to kind of really let me have it.
Yeah.
Because I figured
that was kind of appealing.
Was it?
Yeah.
I felt like you have some opinions.
Because you were really offended when I broke it off. And I did it as diplomatically as I could.
You did. It's very clear.
I told you I just wasn't that into you.
Yeah.
And you called me a hit it and quit it girl. I think immediately after. And I was like, all right, I'm sorry.
I wasn't angry about it. I think I was more like winking with the hit it and quit it line, but
okay.
Like I didn't like. I was like, oh fucking Diana. I was just like, well, I mean, like I was a little disappointed. Like with last week's guest who also ended it, our sexual relationship. Like it was really good sex. Like you're very good at what you do. Oh. So it's not like anger. It was some disappointment and like okay, well she did it like
narrowed down the roster, huh?
Yeah. Well, you also did you did it in a very respectful, good, clean cut way. Clear. I like clear.
Okay.
You don't want it's like I'm busy for 4 weeks because
right.
That's annoying.
Right.
Because I'm the idiot who believes because I just take the words. I'm bad with people, so I just I like when I was in 8th, I did my test episode that I did of this was with a girl from grade school who I had a huge crush on.
Which one was that?
Oh, she was a test episode.
Okay,
never
so
came
never
out.
okay.
Never aired. She asked me not to air it, but we had so much fun doing it. She's a friend of mine.
Okay.
In 8th grade, I had this crush on her, and so on a I think it was like a Sunday, I called her because this is back when we had. I mean, so this is like early 2000s. This is 2002. So this is when we had like the student directory, and you had everyone's phone numbers and addresses.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and I like called her house, asked for her, and I was like, hey, would you like to like go out maybe this weekend?
How old are you?
It's 8th grade, so I'm 12 or 13.
Okay.
And I'm just like, and she's like, oh, I'm busy. I'm sorry. Like maybe another time. And so like the next Sunday I called her again.
You're
I was
like, it's another time.
Hey,
she'll
like,
want it now.
Yeah. I was like, okay, do you want to like do, and she's like, oh no, I have to do like a thing with my mom and, maybe next week. And so I called her every Sunday for 4 weeks in a row. Until she finally said like on the 4th or 5th time, she's like, I'm just like, I just see you as like a friend. I'm just not really interested. I'm like, but like I wasn't heartbroken. I was just like, oh, okay, see you at school. Like, I was like, I don't know why you didn't say this a month ago, but okay.
Yeah.
So I like that you were clear cut and quick.
Oh, good.
But I'm glad you wanted to come on because
yeah,
I don't think you'd hold back. Yeah. You told me something, but yes, I was kind of a shed. You told me something interesting before.
Which one?
Well, you semi-recently almost took a V card from a guy. I did. And so tell us about this. Tell us the almost and the why you didn't.
Well, I had been kind of flirting with this guy. I'm in grad school for architecture, and I don't get out a lot. So I was kind of surrounded by the same group of people. And the one guy that I was kind of like mostly flirting with, find out that he's a virgin. But that doesn't make it any less fun to like flirt with him. And I don't think I'd be a good virginity taker.
Really?
I don't think I would be.
I think you'd be an excellent virginity taker.
I think that's a compliment. But I did not want to steer towards that shore. So I avoided, I don't know, while still kind of toying with him and flirting as a terrible person. So one day I was really drunk, invited him out to a bar, get blackout drunk, absolutely blackout drunk. It's my old college bar. Shots were flowing. Jaeger came out, which I don't even like. And I black out. Don't know how I get home. Wake up to him kind of leaning over me, struggling to get a condom on. And I just yell, maybe we shouldn't do this, in a really high voice.
Oh my God.
And I can't fault him for going home with a girl who was blackout drunk, because I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew any better. But he was just really trying to get it in. And it almost happened. And I might not have even known.
Wait, so you didn't do it because you were blackout and then woke up, or because he's a virgin?
Well, I
would, let's say this was a
sober. I don't think I would have done
a total
it.
whore of a man. Would you have probably done that still, or
if he was a whore of a man and I was blackout drunk? No. Even if I find myself in that predicament where it's so far along, I see no qualms with stopping it and blue balling him. That's a small price to pay.
So, but and you had no interest in laying him later.
No, I mean, he had other faults besides being a virgin. That wasn't me just being prejudiced, but that was a big part of it, that I didn't want me to be his like first sexual experience. I didn't want to do that. Yeah. But yeah, since then it's been really awkward
with this guy. Would you ever take a guy's virginity? Maybe not this guy.
Maybe if he was, because he didn't even tell me. His like best friend had told me like, oh, by the way, he's a virgin. So like, know that before you make any other moves. And he didn't even tell me, which I feel like he wasn't. I don't know. Is it like required to tell somebody?
I don't know. Was he like 23, 24, 25? Yeah. I think at that point there might be some sort of like embarrassment, which he shouldn't be.
But I like honesty.
But, yeah. I think
I like to know what exactly.
Like
I'm
he doesn't
with.
have to disclose. He probably should, for his own sake, because like when it's really bad, that's a very valid excuse.
Yeah.
So
that's really funny.
He should have disclosed on his own.
Yeah. And I think more than him being a virgin, he just obviously like wasn't comfortable with his sexuality, and that I think alone was kind of a deal breaker. And on top of that, him being a virgin, it was just a lot. It was a lot to filter through that he hadn't even begun to like dissect himself.
Okay. Well, but like maybe a more confident fellow.
Yeah, if he was like a confident virgin who was like owning like his virginity.
Tim Tebow finally decides, you know what? Jesus says it's okay.
Call me Tim.
Yeah,
maybe.
Tim, if you're listening.
More of a Tim. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, now let's take Tim Tebow, but like way less muscles.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
the muscles aren't appealing to me.
That's another thing I had written down.
Oh, you
I was very curious about.
About my type.
Yeah.
I am completely typeless. I think girls who have a type are really just think that they know what's best for them when they obviously don't. If you lined up all the guys that I've like dated or slept with, they would have very little in common. I went through like a Latin phase. That was a type for a while, but I would never turn down someone because they weren't Latin in that time of my life. It was just an ongoing trend. Okay. For like for a whole year.
Because what makes me think of that? Because I was, when we hooked up, that I was at like my heaviest that I'd ever been at.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry. Weird time for my voice to crack.
Yeah. It's almost as if you didn't remember and now you're all of a sudden really ashamed. Be like, oh fuck, he was chubby then.
No, I don't. I just don't remember you being that big. I don't know.
I wasn't obese, but like I was certainly obese. Heavier. And like right after we stopped hooking up, I started Weight Watchers and lost like 30 pounds.
Congratulations. You do look good today.
Oh, thank you. I've gained most of it back. But I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah.
We're working it back.
We're drinking beer, so beer goggles are in effect.
Oh, okay.
He looks amazing. I'm just kidding. You look amazing regardless.
Oh, thank you. You look swell yourself. You look like cute librarian right now.
I get that a lot.
So but so it's not just you. And again, this is not being douchebag Billy. This is just remembering a time in my life that I'm not the proudest of. Mm-hmm. I, at that time period with you, was like kind of rotating like 4 or 5 different women at my heaviest weight. Mm-hmm. Like no one should be sleeping with me at this point. And there's like at my lowest weight, I didn't have that much female interest. And
Which was when though? At what point in your life did that lowest weight coincide?
I'm not gonna say a number because that's a personal thing, but about like a year ago was like when I was at my lowest before like I took a break and gained weight back.
I was just wondering if it was like a weird stage that's awkward anyway, no matter how big you are. But no.
No, I mean like because after I graduated college, I put on like probably like 15, 20 pounds, and so that was around when I met you, and I never understood why any of these women were like chubby chasing, and so. I didn't know if like you had a thing for chubby guys or if like there was a type and you just don't care about muscles and things.
I don't know. I've dated like super hot guys, or I've like slept with like super hot guys, but I don't know. It's not better or worse. It's just like a different texture. I don't know.
A different texture.
Yeah.
Just to run the hand down.
Yeah. It's just different and not in any way better or worse.
Okay.
Yeah, I slept with a guy with one hand once.
Stop it.
But I didn't know until after.
Stop it. You're lying.
No, I swear.
Wait, is this another blackout experience?
No, this was.
Stop. How do you not know he has?
Listen.
No, there's.
You're like,
no, he can miss
I'll tell you a story.
He can miss a finger.
I'll tell you the story. It was in college, and I was working late. And all my friends were at the bar. So I come in after 12 and everyone's already bombed out drunk. And so I'm kind of playing catch up and I see a guy, everyone's having fun. I see a guy at the bar. I'm like, oh my God, he's so cute. And in my head, for some reason, I decided he was British because I guess he looked, I don't know. Anyway, I look at my friend. I'm like, Katie, I'm going on with that guy tonight. So if you don't see me, I'll just be at like his place. Like so confident that I was going to get this Brit. And then, so I like, there's like a game on the screen and I like walk over to him. He's sitting at the bar and I'm like pretending I don't know what sport it is. And we're talking blah, blah, blah. And it's just, the reason I didn't notice that he had one hand was because he was just so like touchy with his other hand and just like, I don't know if it like actively distracted me, but I was just so into like conquering that British man that I didn't even realize. And then I went home with him, obviously, because I wanted to. And he's having trouble, like, taking my bra off. And I'm making fun of him, not knowing that he only has one hand to do it with. And I'm like, what is this, like, your first time taking a bra off? Like, come on. And he's laughing. And he's the one who was like, no, let's keep the lights on. So he was not hiding it. You have zero
excuses.
He was not even hiding it. And then... like afterwards, I roll over and I was like, "Oh, he's."
Wait, after sex?
Yes.
Finished. Not once in foreplay. Even you didn't notice that he was just like not. Wow, that one arm does not get tired. Like,
no. And it gets better. Okay, so that night, whatever, I couldn't sleep at his place. It just I was not sleeping. So at 5 a.m., I decided to take a cab home, just because I didn't feel comfortable sleeping there. The next day, I have a soccer game. I was on like our club team.
Yeah, I remember
in
this.
college, yeah. And so I'm on the field. Everyone's really hungover because it's a Sunday, and I'm sitting there with my sunglasses on. And this guy walks on the field. It's the guy that I just slept with, who has one hand. He used to be like the former captain, and he's an alumni of our college, which is why he was at the college bar. And my one night stand came back to haunt me.
And so, wait, when did you realize there was one hand? It was after you rolled over, like off.
Yes.
Condom's still on his dick, and you're just like, oh my God, there's one hand.
Yeah.
You're ridiculous. That's absurd. Like I would never.
That's how much I don't have a type.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter how many limbs you have.
Diana, typeless.
I hate that this is going on the internet, but sure.
Another beer?
Yeah, I can get it.
Okay. And we're back with round 2. Okay, that's certainly an interesting story.
It is.
You had another interesting story. You said that might be fun. Is that you had some interesting Halloween sex?
I did.
When was this?
This was the Halloween of Hurricane Sandy.
All right.
So subways were down.
Yep.
I live in Brooklyn on a stop off the G, which never works anyway when there's not Hurricane Sandy. So when there is, you're kind of stranded.
When I was looking for apartments, my one of the guys I'm looking with, he's from Ohio. He doesn't know anything. He sends me this link, and he's like, this apartment looks really cool. And hey, it would be really fun to live off the G train. I'm like, no, it would not.
Fun.
It would be zero fun.
Fun's one way to put it. Sure.
I'm sorry, continue.
Right. So, and I had just moved to Brooklyn. So I have a new roommate, and we don't have any friends here. I have no way of meeting up with any of my other friends in New York. So we go on this zombie bar crawl. So we do our makeup full zombie, completely painted black and white. And we go out, and I meet a guy who has also face paint all over him as Braveheart.
Okay.
And we go home together. We have no clue what each other looks like. We're making out, like mixing colors. Our bodies are like getting really gross. It looks like we beat each other up because of like black and blue paint all over ourselves. And then that turned into like a really nice relationship. So
after the zombie sex.
Yeah, and he didn't even know what I looked like. So thank God he decided afterwards, like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So when you see someone just in zombie makeup, what's the attraction? Because we're not dealing with faces anymore.
No, we were chatting. It wasn't like I had just like picked him out of a crowd and taken him home.
Okay.
It
seems like you do that. You
I
just
do.
say,
That
"Hey,
one.
friend, that's mine. I'm doing it."
Yeah. Yeah, well, this kind of, but he was nice too. He was sweet. We played ping pong for a little while, and turns out he lived 2 blocks away from me, which was very convenient.
Yeah.
And that's probably why it lasted so long, because I think I'm completely commitment phobic. So the idea that he lived close by, I think, was the only reason that we stayed together as long as we did. Was because it was just like so close to my house that I couldn't. Like, even if I really wasn't that into seeing him, it was too convenient for me not to go.
Isn't that great about New York City? Because, I'm in Bushwick. Mm-hmm. If I knew someone who lived on the Upper East Side, if I knew someone who lived in Astoria, that's like a long distance relationship.
Exactly.
Like, I'd be like, we
That's
could hook
exactly
up,
what
but
it
I
is.
wouldn't. I don't think we could date.
No.
Like,
That's funny because I was living in Queens and I dated someone very seriously who lived in the Bronx, and that was long distance.
Yeah,
By train, that's 2 hours.
yeah, easily.
That's like a plane ride from New York to Chicago, except it's $2.50.
Oh yeah, it's a way cheaper.
Right, but still, time-wise.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I've driven equal amounts of time to go visit someone who we were like, oh, this is long distance. I think that's so interesting about New York City.
Yeah.
I think that's like that in LA too. If you live like one section in LA and someone lives in another, you're like, I don't know, I don't think this is going to work out.
Exactly.
There's traffic. So
I completely agree.
You're commitment phobic, but I think you mentioned earlier you're kind of a romantic.
Kind of. Yeah.
Like you like the cutesiness.
Yes.
If it works with a guy.
Yes.
But then what's with the commitment phobic thing? Because seems to be a common theme with me. I seem to be attracted
to commitment phobic women.
And thus, this is why I have the dilemma I'm in
Okay.
that makes me have this podcast.
Okay. I'll try to explain myself.
Do it.
In that
And then we'll shit on me later.
Okay. I feel like I'm just spending so much time like struggling to get my shit together that for me to like focus on another human being, I'm pretty straight up with, okay, this relationship is going to work because I'm going to be really selfish and probably not have a lot of time for you. So you have to either have like all the time in the world for me or be okay that we don't communicate for a while. Like that's the only way it's going to work.
Okay.
But regardless of how that works, I'm being a shitty girlfriend no matter what. So I'd rather just not be that girlfriend.
Okay.
And just be like a sweet girl that you see every once in a while.
That's sort of sweet in its own
It's a
interesting way.
quasi girlfriend. I'm like a really nice
It's very
hookup.
considerate. Like it's It's like, listen, I can't be the girlfriend you deserve, but I can be super sweet and awesome for the times you do see me.
Right. I can fill that role temporarily.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's still coming from a very selfish place.
Yeah. But, and I don't know if, again, this is just the women I seem to interact with, or if this is a growing trend amongst, I guess, our generation. I mean, the women in their 20s who moved to New York City who just want to enjoy being a single girl and focus on their career or their education or whatever. They're like, I don't have time for a boyfriend. I just kind of want to like keep it super cash.
Right. But I'm still very monogamous. Like, I don't have a lot of guys at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's pretty rare. I'm usually pretty consistent, but just like a terrible girlfriend to that one person. If that makes it any better.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Huh. I find that interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've met women who were like, they were into like super long things, and then they moved to New York and were like, I kind of like the attention I get in New York as like a hot 20-something. I kind of just want to enjoy that for a bit.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's not me.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we had some fun. I'll rephrase this. I think we had some fun.
We did.
We did? Okay, cool.
We did.
I've had some like, so far I've had some like truth bombs dropped on me.
Okay, which were?
Well, like for example, I had one person who I thought we stopped hooking up because she got a boyfriend and she didn't.
She lied.
I think, maybe I had selective hearing. I'm not sure, but I thought it was that, and then it was more like, oh no, like I just needed to like stop.
Okay, that's never good to hear.
So no, well, there were like good reasons.
Okay,
one of them was because she didn't want. I made her realize she didn't want casual relationships.
Okay,
not because I was bad, just because she was like, oh, I just don't want this thing. Another one was because she had to work on herself. There were various reasons. But you I think I contacted you again probably like in the fall or something.
Yeah.
I made another attempt. I was living in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I was in another place. Kind of dipping back to the well, I guess.
Okay.
Because I knew I didn't have time. I wasn't going to be able to like date someone who lives in New York while I was still in New Jersey.
That's hard.
That's worse than doing Queens the Bronx.
Because
there's the added just shame of having to live in New Jersey. It's just, and I guess I saw you on that same dating site,
right?
And I was like, oh, Diana seems. I also so this is I think I saw you on the subway like months ago.
Really?
And I didn't want to approach you. Because you were with two dudes, and also because I was just like...
I was with two dudes. I'm trying to think of what scenario I'd be on the subway with two dudes.
It also may not have been you, but I was like pretty sure. I was like, I think that's Diana. I don't have her number to like text her and ask her that, and I don't think she would want me to say hi. I was somewhere in Brooklyn. I think it might have been like some sort of G or Blue train stop.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't think she'd want me to come say hi. It would just be super awkward for her. So I'll just.
And I was probably having a threesome with those two guys.
Obviously.
No, I wasn't. But.
But so I remember you briefly seemed to consider hooking up again. No.
No.
Oh, so you just like in that email you were just like no.
Well,
because you were like I'll think about it. You were like I maybe, and then later you were like no.
Did I say that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember it exactly.
You ended up having a very specific reason.
Yeah, well, you had asked me.
Ties into.
You asked me explicitly
that time.
You were like, why? Why don't you want to sleep together? Like, what was so bad about us sleeping together that you don't want to do it again? Mm-hmm. And I said that you weren't into morning sex at all, which is true. And then you never went down on me. And I only said that after you said, but I'm sure that I went down on you to make up for it. And I said, no, you didn't.
It was an interesting. I'm not going to try to defend myself. I'm just going to say it was a different phase of my life. Not entirely proud of it, because that happened with another woman during that time period too. For some weird reason, I was like not dropping, and then I look back now, I'm like,
I was just kind of baffled that you had remembered it so differently. That you're like, oh, I obviously made it up to you.
Yeah, don't you see how deluded I was
a little
back then?
bit.
I thought I was this amazing. I think it was part of like having all those things going on at that time made me think I was better than I am.
I don't know.
Had a little bit of hubris. Like I flew a little too close to the sun.
I see.
And it was a drop.
Yeah. I don't know. Was it just a phase where you like didn't do that for women, or?
I wasn't doing it for certain women. There was one girl I started dating during that time period who I kind of fell for hard.
I see.
And I wanted to drop. She just, and then of course it's like the one girl who just doesn't like guys going down on her. I was like,
those girls will ruin it for the rest of us.
Yeah, but I wasn't not dropping because of that. I think I was so in love with this girl Natanya that like I didn't.
Natanya,
the
one that got away,
Russian Jew, the one who got away, the one who was like, no, stay here, but like I don't have time for you for like a year and a half. It was just the worst. Yeah, that was a. So I don't know why I was doing that because I did to another woman too. She was very frustrated that I wasn't going down on her, and I was just like, I don't really want to. And I was 22 and just a fucking idiot. And it's definitely not me now, but it's interesting piece of feedback.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear that I was kind of. It's nice to hear consistently that during that frame of time I was being kind of a dick.
Is it nice?
It's good. I think it's good for me to hear because I don't remember it like that. Until now, like you women have now told me. You women. Really, it's just you and Kaylee are the only ones I've talked to from that era. We'll call it, but I think it's good because it's humbling, and it's making me like be aware of it now.
I see.
So apparently I can be condescending to younger folk, allegedly also people of my own age.
Yeah.
And so, I'm working on it. It's a process.
Yeah, I had recently hooked up with another guy who was like started out being really gung ho about going down on me and insisted on doing 69, which is like a weird position.
Okay.
Not like a great position in my opinion, but he was, and I thought, oh, so he's like definitely going to be really into it, probably really good, and then. He does like a half-hearted attempt with his mouth and then starts shying away and puts like a finger in like he's like investigating like really slowly. And I'm just like, what
are
is
you
this?
doing?
And then he starts apologizing. He's like, I thought I could really get into it, but it's not me. And I'm like, well, you really built it up and now it's weird. And that was the first unexcited man to be down in that place. But then I've had some great experiences about guys that are like all about it and that's all they want to do and like prove themselves there. It's
a test. It's definitely a thing like, if we feel like, if we can go down on them very well, they'll definitely want to have sex. I feel like that's the thought process. We're like, if we do a good enough job, they'll think we can trick them into thinking we're going to be amazing with intercourse.
I would just love to champion the fact that like going down on a girl will be like so commonplace. They'll like do it in restaurants, like the way blowjobs are. Because like blowjobs are like greeting cards these days. Like everybody gets a blowjob. Like
I'd go down on a woman in a restaurant. If it had like the side things, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not very shy. Like
Oh no.
No, I've grown to be less
I
shy.
couldn't tell.
Oh, you were being sarcastic.
I was. Maybe it's my bitch voice that you just couldn't pick up on it.
No, I'm all for it. Let's do it. Going down on women in restaurants.
Yeah. Let's make it a thing.
Make it a thing.
Put it on an ABC sitcom.
I'm down. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd be close to that. I just need the right environment, but because here's the thing: people get shy about public sex in New York City, and I feel like this is the place you should least be concerned because nothing. It's like hard for something bad to happen. Because let's say I forget where you're from.
Queens.
Oh, you're from Queens. Okay, I'll do my example then. If you're from Norwood, New Jersey,
okay,
if you get caught by like a civilian banging in the playground, that will lead to you because it's a town of 8,000 people. And so like someone will call the cops and they may not catch you there, but then they'll go find you or something like that.
Right.
Or someone's going to call someone's mom. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you're a grown adult. They're still going to call your mom because it's the town you grew up in.
Yeah.
If you're here and you get caught having sex by like a person, you just leave, like, because they can't arrest you. The only person you have to be concerned getting caught by is an actual police officer, because otherwise, then you can just leave before they get there. It's not going to come back to you like that.
That's a good point.
I wouldn't care to go down a woman in the middle of the sidewalk. She pushes me up against the wall and lifts her skirt and tells me I'd do that for a full minute before I'm like, okay, we should like go to somewhere else now,
a darker alley.
Yeah, I mean, or just like a different corner. Like, I don't care. It's just like, because you can't get in trouble.
I see. I think in New York, it's just so much, it's so populated that there's no deserted place. Like, it's very hard to be alone.
You also get, you kind of get lost in all those people.
Yeah, there's a certain anonymity in that and just being surrounded by so many people.
I feel like if I put my head under a woman's dress in the middle of the sidewalk, I feel like I could do that for like a full 30 to 60 seconds before anyone actually realized
or reacted to it.
Yeah.
Because people would realize and then not care and then be like, well, I'm late for work. So this can go ahead and happen while I'm at work.
As long as can you go up against the side of the building because you're in the way of traffic. Yeah. Lick pussy on the building. That's not here in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you find that like not a lot of guys are dropping these days? Is this an epidemic?
No, I don't think it's not in my experience.
Good.
Just a couple of outliers. Billy's raising his hand.
Yeah. Oops. That was my bad. Like I said, it was a weird time in my life. Any other so just to like kind of recap on, I guess, Billy's learning.
Catching up with Diana.
It's a weekly column, guys.
Oh yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Or you can be a dick. Do it or don't.
I mean, did it work for me? Because like, here's the thing. I'm not a dick in my, like, I feel like I act the part of a dick because I feel like that's what I have to do to seem confident. Because otherwise I'd seem like kind of a bitch. I'm like very cutesy. Like I cry during movies. I know how to knit. And I'm a man on Weight Watchers. Like,
yeah,
I'm kind of a woman. So I feel like I have to play up certain things just like to show off some sort of fake testosterone.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a big part of it. Because, like, sensitive men are nice. Being, like, an aggressive woman, I don't think that I'm looking for aggression in return. You know? I don't look for my same qualities in a partner. I think the reason...
So you're saying, like, right now, I can finally, like, turn it down?
What?
So you're saying, like, right now, I could, like, turn it down finally?
What do you mean? Yeah, you can relax. You can relax. I think the reason we didn't work out was we just didn't have anything in common, I think.
Really? I remember I mean, I don't remember the things. I just remember, I don't care as much about the things in common as much the type. So, like, you are witty and clever and quick-witted and aggressive and super hot. That helps too.
Thank you.
But, so that's usually what I'll go for. So I don't care if it's, like, they like ballet and I can't stand it.
Right.
I can deal with that if, like, there can be some witty retort before and after.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. I think there was just not enough there for me to want to continue it.
Right.
Because you're great, but it wasn't, I don't know. It just wasn't, I don't know, enough compatibility, I think.
That's fair. So I can't go down on you after this. Cool.
No, you can't. Not on my twin bed.
On your twin bed? Never upgraded after you got out of the dorm?
I like the mattress so much. It's such a good mattress. And it kind of is a great incentive for guys to leave it in the morning or before morning. Mm-hmm. I make a lot of twin bed jokes to guys I sleep with.
Twin extra long?
No, it's short.
I was gonna say
there's always feet hanging off the end.
Mm-hmm. But you're kind of short, so right?
I'm average stature.
You're like
actually
5'6"?
5'5".
5'5".
Thank you for the extra inch.
Well, I'm a gentleman.
Always with that extra inch, Billy.
I try.
These
days I give the extra effort.
Perfectly average for women. I'll let you know that.
Okay. So Billy, be kind of a dick.
What are you even pretending to write? You just
it's
you just did a little
scribbles.
scrawl as if you're my therapist taking notes.
Fun fact: your therapist isn't actually taking notes; he's just playing Sudoku.
Fun fact: I don't have a therapist, so
you son of a bitch. Okay, I'll put the pen down. So I be less of a dick a little bit.
Be yourself, Billy.
That's so fucking difficult and not sexy.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Be a more giving lover.
Yeah.
And any other things I should be taking away from this?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm the person that
I think you're exactly the person
that should give you.
you
advice.
there's zero bit in you. Last week's guest, for example, she was questioning. She says she still questions whether or not she should have ended things and whether or not maybe we should.
With you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were just there's zero things. There's no way I am taking off my pants in front of this guy. There's nothing that's going to happen.
No.
So
sorry.
I think you're the perfect person.
Oh yeah. Are you actually? Is this whole podcast actually trying to figure out how for you to be a better boyfriend? Is that?
Well, yeah. This is okay. So this is partially, there are these topics I'm really passionate about: gender equality, sexuality equality. I really enjoy. It talks about sex and dating and whatnot. I have some strong opinions. Not all of them popular.
Okay.
But I have this unique problem that I get made fun of by my guy friends, my limited guy friend. I have guy friend.
How many are there?
There's 2, and then the rest are comics. It's,
okay. Are comics less than men?
I have this somewhat unique problem, I think, amongst my core group of constituents that, I apparently have no problem getting women, hooking up.
Yeah.
I do pretty well, but that's not what I want.
I see.
I want, anytime I've wanted something more with someone, they're always the ones to say, I just want to keep this super casual, or I don't want anything serious. So, and now that's not totally weird for the woman to take that role, although it's kind of a gender role reversal in the traditional sense,
right.
But still, it's not unheard of these days. However, normally when a woman says that sexual relationship just usually ends. This doesn't happen. They usually keep sleeping with me. They're yes, I know you pine for me and want to bring me chocolates, but we're just gonna fuck and you're gonna accept. It's you think if they were just using a guy for his body, you think they'd pick a guy with a better body. I never understand this.
Well, for me, you kind of got rid of the boyfriend idea pretty quickly, but I know that was your dark stage.
It's my dark.
So I want to hold that against you as your looming problem. But after that was off the table, then it's oh, we're just gonna sleep together for a while. So
and not even a long while.
Not even a long while. Sorry.
No,
but
it's fine.
Maybe I don't know.
I look back with fond memories.
Yeah, it was great.
You don't have to lie.
I think I slapped you once. Do you remember that?
Sexually slapped me?
No, in public. For no reason, really. I think I just slapped you because I could. You
could. I do
Which
like
is
an
terrible.
aggressive, dominant woman. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I want to apologize for slapping you and you don't remember.
Not at all. Doesn't need an apology because in a weird way, I probably like that. And,
okay.
But back to why I do this. Yeah, I want to hear some feedback about what it was that maybe made me seem like I was not boyfriend material, but totally fuckable.
Yeah.
Because if you look at me, just objectively, you think the opposite.
I think you should get that out of your head.
No?
Because that's not a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm... I hate to say that I'm not superficial because I, even in, non-traditionally good-looking men, I'm always have a fixation with something that's, not traditionally hot, but I'll fetishize that. I love chest hair. And I'm just oh my God, it's chest hair. And I'll be I'm only fucking him for his chest hair. But in a way, that's kind of being superficial. So I don't want to say that. But yeah, I don't think that you should take your looks as being that's not a boyfriend material thing.
Well, no, I'm saying is my looks
make you boyfriend material.
Well, I'm not just my looks, but I don't know, the fact that I'm cutesy. I like holding hands. I like love cuddling and making out. I cry during Ryan Reynolds movies.
Really? Which ones?
Actually, I think it's only a singular one. I cry during Tom Hanks movies. But the one would be definitely Maybe. I cried twice. Usually.
Oh, I've never seen
I usually
that.
cry twice during that one. One when we finally realize who is
That's with the girl?
Abigail Breslin?
Yes.
When we realize who her mother is.
She's really hot now, by the way.
Yeah, but she's not legal yet, so I don't feel
Okay, you
comfortable
can't say
saying
that.
it.
I can say that.
I check in on that age every once in a while, just sort of, because I'm like, she's got to be 18 by now. So no,
Okay.
I think she's like 16, 17. Yeah.
She's got
Great.
a rack of like a 30-year-old. I said it. You didn't. You were thinking it, but
So there are these qualities. I feel like there's no reason anyone would see me as a sex object. But yet, like, that seems to be all I get treated as. And I don't know if it's probably because I'm pigeonholing myself. And so part of this with some women who have had enough experience with me to have an opinion.
so much experience.
You interestingly have so little actual experience, yet have had just the right experiences to have a very valid opinion, I think. That's why I was excited to do this episode.
Good.
So yeah, so this is like for me to kind of learn some things about myself. So hopefully, like in my future dating, for example, like I overshare like a motherfucker, and now I'm learning how to put filters on.
Right.
Like how it's not a deposition. Like I don't have to share every little thing right away. Mm-hmm. Especially like with sexual history. Mm-hmm. But
oversharing in other ways makes you like the perfect boyfriend. Like oversharing, like feelings wise and experience wise.
I do that like way too much. I definitely, yeah. But like I love doing like cute, adorable things. Like with Natanya for the New Year's Eve, that it was like that.
How do you spell Natanya?
Naatania.
Oh.
They can't find her in my friends because she unfriended me and then like made it so I can't search her.
Is it bad now? Do you guys have like a bad relationship?
It's bad
now?
because like she recognizes that she was so shitty to me. She was like emotionally abusive to me in the sense like, so because like she would like she would say she loves me, but like
she said I love you.
We never had dinner once. I tried. She would never like go on like a date with me. She had this like weird thing in her head.
Okay.
She's like emotionally distant and all that stuff. And after like a year and a half, like she finally was able to like say like that she loves me, but then like would like in actions just would never show it.
Yeah, that's a real Eastern European thing.
Yeah,
I relate to that.
Yeah, is bad. And then, but so, and she blocked me on Facebook, not because like she's angry at me. She like feels bad that like I keep coming back.
Yeah.
And because I think I broke it off with her like 3 different times.
So you were the one to break it off every time.
Yeah, I had to like respect myself as an independent woman.
Of course, as you do.
So yeah, I'm trying to learn how to like not, I guess, overshare, put filters. But that's hard for me to like kind of also mix with. I don't want someone who would view my sexual history as something bad or slutty, like in a sex negative type of way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it doesn't all have to come out at once. I think I'm starting to try to get a handle of.
Can I ask you to overshare right now? Can I ask you how many partners you've had?
Oh, that one.
He's getting so shy.
I'd rather tell people how big my dick is before I tell them how many.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean with it. Okay.
Like it's just like,
if you don't want to say it, you don't have to say it.
I'll say. It's just like, well, because like some guys are very shy about the size of their member. I don't really give a fuck. It's nothing shameful or not that small is shameful, but
okay.
So, but I don't know. Like if people will view numbers like with a certain stigma,
of course.
And like if
I experience that a lot as a woman.
You have a high,
I don't have a high number. I have like an average.
If a woman has like a double-digit number, people think she's a skank.
Yeah,
it sucks.
It's funny.
It's terrible.
Well, because in different groups, I'm either a slut or a prude.
Well, yeah.
So
if you're around like some poly friends I know that go to orgies, you'd probably be kind of a prude.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Then, like,
I bet.
Like, if you're like around like, I don't know, like recent college grads who like had a boyfriend for most of college, you're probably like the big skank on campus. And I don't think that's right. That's like, I think that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't like slut shaming, both for men and for women.
Yeah.
Women get it the worst because it's acceptable for me to fuck mad bitches, bro.
Yeah.
But like that's so, and so like I feel like I get self-conscious about my number because I feel like it looks like I'm that guy, but I'm so not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm so not like braggy conquesty dude.
Yeah. You just named your podcast the Man Whore Podcast.
But then the subtitle of it, a sex positive quest for love. Like it's
right. I understand it. I understand it.
You know, so I
just like to instigate.
It's okay. I have had the intercourse with 46.
Wow. I shouldn't say wow, but wow in a positive way.
But like, and that's only since like, except for 2 of them, it's all since I was 19. Like, so that's why I see this as a novelty, because I'm like, that's like a lot in a little time. I didn't even have high school sex, and freshman year I had like a girlfriend the whole time. So it's like, I don't understand how that happened for a guy who couldn't even make out with girls in high school. So that's why sometimes it would seem like me bragging about a stamp collection, only because like I'm just like so excited. I'm like, oh my god, like women want to sleep with me. Like this is insane. What was your number at? I feel like you're like 12.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Shh. Sorry. Scared the cat.
Yeah. So yeah, it's 12.
When was number 12?
It was almost 13 with the virgin, but
Oh my! So then that was a long time ago.
yeah, it was. Well, November was my 12.
When was the last time you got laid?
November. It's
Diana.
Yeah. No, I know. Finals.
Can we fix this? I'm sorry. I feel so bad.
No, I mean, I like to think it's a choice.
You like to think it's a choice.
I like to think it's a choice because I'm not like actively searching. I'm kind of an introvert by nature. So whenever I feel like all of those 12 was me not looking. Not making that an egotistical thing, like they all.
You
came
can
to me.
have some ego. You deserve a little bit.
That all kind of just happened. That wasn't me being like I'm single. This is me being single. It was all just kind of in the moment every time. So if it doesn't happen every moment, I'm not upset about it. And if it doesn't happen since November, it's not a thing for me.
Okay. As long as you're not like feeling deprived.
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think so. I got my first sex toy pretty recently.
Congrats. What'd you get?
Thank you. It's a tickler.
Like a finger one, or
No,
is
it's like the regular vibe. It's the one that doesn't look like a penis. It's like very sleek and chic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got one recently too. I'm very
Really?
excited. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Little bullet.
Oh, nice.
It was really good.
They're cute because you can stash them and travel
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah, bullets are good.
Pocket sized.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Mine came with a little display case, not a display, like a stand. I'm so tempted to just leave it up.
Just leave it. Do it.
I should.
You should. It'll send a message to the other guy.
But
Be
it
like,
doesn't look
it's
like-
like, hey, listen. If you don't do a good job, I have this, and I'll kick you the fuck out.
But it's so pretty that it doesn't even look like a sex toy. So
Want to play a couple games before
Let's
we
play a
go?
couple games.
Okay, let's play a couple games. We got a new one.
okay.
Real simple, real straightforward.
Okay. What's it called?
It's called Fake It.
No.
No?
I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't want to play
You
that
can't.
game.
You can't Meg
I
Ryan
don't
it.
think I can.
I'm
I don't
interested.
think
I'm
I-
interested to hear what do you mean? I think you could. I'm happy you don't. I'm happy that you don't do it because I hate it when women fake it. Because like I can
Mine
tell.
would be very subtle.
Huh?
Mine would be. It would be more body language than anything.
be more like a
so I don't think it
face?
would translate to.
It'd be more like a.
It'd be like a face and like a thigh shake.
Can you like really isolate that muscle and make that?
I don't know. This is a bad. No.
Okay.
Let's skip this game. Let's skip this
Okay.
game.
Then my favorite game, cast that porn.
Okay. Let's cast that.
So I'm
porn.
going to describe a porn to
Okay.
you, and then you're going to cast
real one?
it. This is going to be one I've seen recently,
Okay.
and then you're going to cast it with like some real life people.
Okay.
Okay. So I saw this video. Are you familiar with chat roulette?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a chat roulette video where like the one side are these 4 British women. They're all like somewhat middle aged.
Okay.
Like they're old, they're probably married with a couple kids. Mm-hmm. So there's like 4 middle aged British women like drinking like white wine and just like having fun, clicking through chat roulette, seeing a bunch of dicks. They find a dick that they like, I guess, because they're watching him for a while.
Right.
The guy they're watching is just some like French dude, but like this faceless French man. He's got like a body like a hung nerd, just
Nerd.
lanky, thin, but like a meaty horse cock that just like is there.
Okay.
And he's stroking it for these ladies.
How old is he?
No idea.
No idea.
We just
Ageless.
faceless, man. It's just
Okay.
we're seeing torso
Okay.
and dick. And then these 4 women kind of like cheering him on and giggling.
Okay.
And then eventually, and then they start
4 women?
Yeah. And then
Okay.
eventually they finally start like almost like humiliating and be like, oh my God, just come already. And then he does, but it's like this little dribble coming out. It's actually like really anticlimactic for a climax.
I see.
So who do
so
you
I'm
cast in that porn?
Okay, so for the women,
Okay.
they're British women.
They-
okay.
they're-
I mean, they can be
Yeah.
crossover actors.
Sure. Meryl Streep does a great British
She
accent.
does, but it's not going to be Meryl Streep. It's going to be Maggie Smith
Who's that?
dressed as Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter series.
Okay.
Eddie Izzard in drag.
Oh, good choice.
There's 4 of them, right?
Would you fucking come already?
Rose Byrne in old people makeup.
Oh my. Okay. Fresh off of Neighbors. Next season.
Yeah,
in,
she's great.
French chat roulette.
And can I just change like the 4th woman to Stefan from SNL?
That's
And
totally
then the
fine with
hung
me.
guy is gonna be who's like the person that's least likely to have a huge penis in Hollywood? I want to say Elijah Wood.
I was gonna say Tom Cruise.
Really? Oh, yeah. It's gonna be Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
I feel like he's packing.
He has small features. It
He's
just
yeah,
seems
and
unlikely.
no, he's a small. I feel like he's packing it though. I feel
To
like
his
he's
knees.
a big package in a small box.
Okay.
I don't think I said that
No.
phrase right.
Nope.
Nope. Do you want to correct me?
No.
You've
I
been
would
doing a
just-
great job of correcting me.
No,
So
I would
far
just
today.
like to leave that hanging in the atmosphere.
Let Billy's idiocy just hang and be
Yeah.
on display.
Yeah, that's my porn.
Okay. Why?
And I'd watch it.
You'd watch that? Do you watch the porn?
Yeah, sometimes.
What do you watch?
What do I watch? I watch a lot of lesbian porn because that's just more fun than straight porn.
Mm-hmm. Do you watch lesbian porn like for straight guys or like more like by women for
I
women
always
lesbian
click
porn?
like the female friendly tab.
You do?
I'm very-
like on like X Hamster they have like female choice.
I don't know what that is, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Every website has their variation of that. Yeah, I'm pretty predictable in that way.
Okay. Anything else you watch?
Nothing.
Nothing crazy.
No, nothing crazy.
Why Stefan?
Because I just love him.
I feel like
I do love gay guys making out. Not in like a slightly turned on way. I wouldn't like watch that to masturbate to, but I like watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Why Stefan?
just because him and Seth Meyers, like, they do it for me.
They do.
Yeah.
I feel like chat roulette would be like the type of like of a person at the club. He's like, and they have chat roulette, and then Seth Meyers like, well, what's chat roulette? It's like it's like this thing like when you have a merry-go-round and there's a bunch of guys with dicks on it.
Yeah, that was perfect, Stefan.
Yeah, that's my best. I don't know. So this was good. I
Good.
feel like I learned some things. I like that you properly crushed any hopes, by the way, real quickly for me.
You always,
that was good.
Every time that we're in contact, you always like do these coy little comments at me, and I just don't respond to that at all.
What would you have responded to? Like, is there anything I could have said? Not that. Now, listen, I get it. All hope's gone.
Yeah.
Not trying. Like, when I contacted you, the subject of my email was,
Yeah.
"I promise I'm not trying to sleep with you again."
That was the only thing that made me open that email.
I thought that was what I would need to do
Okay.
for you to even read the thing.
That was wise.
But that last time I contacted you, was there anything I could have said?
I don't. Nothing that I could think of. I don't know.
Is there any like attitude I might have had that would have been like, oh, maybe Billy's changed. Let's go on a date or whatever.
I don't know. Maybe straight up asking me on a date. Because that happens less and less.
No
Dates.
explanations. Just be like, hey, I was thinking of you. You want to go out?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
that would have been the
simple.
best. Well, don't overthink it.
That's what I do best.
I know. No, I know. This is my advice to you: is don't overthink it.
Okay.
If I have zero good advice today, which seems to be the case,
You mean if you
it's-
have one piece of good advice?
Well, if until now it's
Okay.
been zero, this is my gem. Don't overthink it.
That's a good one.
I try.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Awesome. What an episode, guys. Truth bombs galore. Reality kind of bites, but it's good. It's good. I definitely learned things from Diana. I think that was a good conversation for me to have. I think we all learned some things. We all had a little bit of fun there. You know, it harps back to that first episode where Nikki told me I make hasty decisions. Clearly, I made hasty decisions within minutes of meeting Diana that first night. So I'm hoping I don't do that moving forward. I'm definitely staying aware of that. But thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited. Actually, in a few weeks, we're going to have a sex researcher on the show, Dr. Zana Frangalova. She's an adjunct professor at New York University. Does a lot of very interesting studies and research on non-monogamy. So I would love, if you guys have any questions for her, please email the show at manhorrorpod@gmail.com. I'd love for her to maybe answer some of your questions. If you're not already on the mailing list, we're going to do some fun things with that in the future. Don't want to spoil the fun, but definitely get on that mailing list. Go to www.manhorrorpod.com. Sign up right over there. You won't regret it. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Come and say hi. I'm over there at TheBillyProceda. Say hello. Use the hashtag ManHorrorPodcast. And as always, be sure to tune in next week. I'm here every Wednesday, or whichever day you choose to listen. This is the internet. You're in control here, not me. I'm here any week, I guess, or on any day. And as usual, folks, stay slutty. I'm going to go try to plan a really cute second date. I'm out.